Welcome to Unbreakable Latina. Hi guys, welcome back to Unbreakable Latina. This is your host Melina. I hope everyone's having a great Monday. I had such a busy weekend. Well, first of all, I want to say thank you all so much for your support on my last podcast. Like I said, it was a very difficult episode to record, but I got to connect with so many people that have been through the same thing, and my heart goes out to you, and we're all here for each other, and I'm so happy I do not feel alone and you don't feel alone either. Um Being vulnerable is something that I expected coming with my idea for this podcast, but I never thought I was going to be this vulnerable. And I'm so proud that I am because like I said, this is super therapeutic for me. I love doing this. It's so awesome to connect with girls like you guys. I don't think I would have ever came across all these girls that I talk to now, and I have friends everywhere, like in all the states, and it's just so cool. Like I don't know them personally. I hope one day we get to meet, but it's cool how social media has brought us together. The other day, actually, one of the listeners, shout out Mindy, she said that she saw my mom at the store and she was like, oh my God, that's Unbreakable Latina's mom. So I told my mom and she was like fangirling, like, oh my God, soy famosa. Like, I'm famous. And it made her day. So thank you for that, Mindy. Next time, say hi to my mom. She'll be so happy to say hi to you and meet you. If you guys ever see me out, come up to me. Like, I want to meet you guys. Like, hopefully one day I get to meet a lot of you. Uh, I went to Coachella, guys. I can't believe I'm saying that. Even like my family was like, "You went to Coachella?" Because they know how I don't like crowds. I like my family always my cousins, my sister, they always want to invite me to go to raves or go to festivals. And I'm like, "No, it's not my thing. It's not my thing." But my coworker, he invited me to go to Coachella for a day, and then he's like, it's just for a day, like you don't have to stay the whole weekend, and everything's taken care of, like you just have to show up. And I'm just like, oh, but I was like, this, I said that I was gonna do a lot of things out of my comfort zone, and this is one of them. So everybody was shocked when I told them I was going to Coachella. I had a blast. I had so much fun. I can't it felt like it didn't even happen because it all happened so fast. I had so much fun, and I don't, like I said, I hate crowds, but it was manageable. They did say that weekend two was a little less crowded than weekend one. I probably wouldn't have liked weekend one, but I'm glad that I went. Personally, I wouldn't pay to go ever because, like I said, it's not something I enjoy, but I just hate making lines. Like we were actually getting merch, and I'm gonna admit to you guys, I cut the line. Like I was my friends and I, we were waiting for like an hour for merch, and it was getting cold, and we all said we were gonna get jackets, sweatshirts, because it's freaking cold out there. It was cold and windy, and none of us had sweaters, so we're like, we have to get this merch. And we were about to miss like another set of an artist, and I was like, I'm not waiting in this line. So I cut the line, I jumped into the VIP. It's what my sister has taught me to do. Don't call the cops, please. But I cut the line. I ended up talking to one of the guys that like sold the merch, and flirted my way through some merch, and I got merch for all my group, and they were so thankful, and we got to see a set. But yeah, I don't do well in crowds, but I'm so glad I went. Grupo Firme was amazing. Like I want to go see him in concert now, because I sang my little heart out. It was like that was a highlight of my freaking Coachella trip. It literally was a Grupo Firme concert. There were so many other artists, but I didn't get to see everybody. But it was such a good time. I don't regret it. And then Saturday, my brother came over with my niece and my sister-in-law, and we just hung out at home and had a home cooked meal. Like I felt like a zombie. I was so tired last night. And today I had a mixer called the Mixtape Social that my sister invited me to because her boss, Lola, she is one of her bosses that owns Rich is Insane, which is the marketing firm that she works for. So basically, it was a mixer of different successful women that started their own businesses, and it was just really inspiring. Lola spoke, also Melissa Rios. She's part of 93.9, the radio station. So you've seen her, I'm sure, on TikTok and on all social media. She's really nice. She just opened her own juicery with her husband. She was so cool. Like, I always watch her Instagrams, and she's funny, and just her advice was so wonderful. There was a few other speakers. There was Cindy and Liz. They own a fitness apparel company, which is Lisi Fitness. And there was Stormy. She was one of the co-hosts, along with Marissa, who was the other co-host. And they're just like, it was just inspiring to hear all the stories of these successful women. There was Nalita. She was so like, this girl like lit up the room. She is an entrepreneur. She's an actress, a martial arts expert, and everything. It was just so inspiring, and it was really out of my comfort zone, because one thing about me is I hate like being in a crowd and introducing myself to someone I don't know. I like ease into conversations. I'm not the type of person that will go up and like, "Hi, my name is Melina, like nice to meet you." That's not, I've never been like that. Like, I used to cringe every time in college when we had to introduce ourselves and do icebreakers, and it's just never been my thing. And it was my sister was the one that was pushing me, like, you have to do this, you have to network, you have to meet people. And I'm so glad that she did, because if not, I would have missed on meeting so many amazing women, like getting all kinds of advice, and like just like-minded women who are not working that usual 9 to 5, and are passionate about their businesses and passionate about making a better life for themselves and being. I aspire to one day be a guest speaker at one of these events, because, like I said, doing that, it's so out of my comfort zone. Like, my sister kept saying, like, you have to ask a question, you have to like talk to people, introduce yourself. And they did like a little, like, in the beginning, like, fill out this card, meet a couple people, and I met so many cool girls, and they were all like from my area. So now I like connected with these girls. Some have boutiques, they have hair places, laser tanning, so many people. And one girl really stood out to me. She does hair, and she was just like, "Oh my god, this is so out of my comfort zone." I'm like, "This is out of my comfort zone too." She's like, "I all this time I've been holding myself back because just the way I grew up, and like, being a Latina and this and that." And I was like, "Oh my god, me too." Like, it was so nice to feel like I'm not alone, feeling like so out of place. And even other girls shared that I didn't get to meet everybody, but the girls that did talk, they were like, "This is so out of my comfort zone. Like, I'm so nervous." Like, literally, when I asked my question, I was like shaking, like, so embarrassing to admit. But yeah, I was shaking. But my sister's like, you need to like answer a question and engage with people and introduce yourself, And I gave a couple of stickers. Some girls were like, "Oh my god, yeah, I can't wait to listen." And if you're listening, hey, it was nice to meet you, girl. But so on my way home, I was just telling my sister, like, "Oh, thanks for pushing me." Like, literally this weekend, I pushed myself to do so many things out of my comfort zone. And this is not like me. I do stuff occasionally, but not all in one weekend. And I feel like, oh my god, like, I just feel like I grew as a person this weekend. I know it sounds cheesy, but it's so true. Like, I feel like I got inspired. And so I wanted to do the podcast on stepping out of your comfort zone. And that's something that I always tell everybody, like, you have to do stuff that makes you uncomfortable. But then when it comes to me, I don't take my own advice, and I'm so bad at that. And I think a lot of us are like that. But yeah, step out of your fucking comfort zone. Like, you're not gonna grow, because when I stepped out of my comfort zone, I created this podcast. And little by little, like, "Oh, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this." Like, my sister's like, "You're a grown woman. Like, come on. Like, stop being like that." And I love that I have her. And I'm so grateful. And I know not everybody has that. So I want to be that person for you, because sometimes I can't be that person for myself, but I'm really good at being there for other people. And I want to push you out of your comfort zone. I completely believe that you grow the moment that you step out of your comfort zone, because we're often so afraid to take that first step. And the truth is that comfort zones, they're not really for comfort. I think it's just fear that we have. We have fear of being disappointed, fear of being embarrassed, fear of being yourself. And because of fear, you are stopping yourself from experiences. Like, If I would have told my sister, no, I don't want to go to this mixer, I wouldn't have met or been inspired by so many women and that gave us such good advice. And I would have never had that. I would have just been home, recorded the podcast, and went about my day. And I know I'm busy. Like, you guys see me on social media, like, I'm with my family, I'm like trying to record, I'm making podcasts, I'm trying to do social media, and it's a lot of work, but sometimes you have to sacrifice that in order to be fulfilled. And I feel fulfilled right now. Although I'm tired, I do feel fulfilled. So here are a couple ways that you can step out of your comfort zone and get closer to what you want. First, you have to become aware of what's outside of your comfort zone. So maybe jot down like a couple things that you're afraid of doing yourself because of potential failure or disappointment, and just write down, because I used to like be like, no, no, I can't do that. Oh, no, no, I can't do that. So I'm my worst enemy. And I think a lot of us are our worst enemies, because you could hype your friend up, you could hype your mom, your sister, your tia, your tío. But the moment that it comes to you, you're so harsh on yourself. And that's something that I'm still working on. But write down the things that you believe you're worthy of doing, but you're afraid to do it. So once you write that list, then be clear about why you fear these things. Like, if you fear introducing yourself to people, why do you fear that? Practice in the mirror, introducing yourself to somebody. Practice does make perfect. I remember the first time I did public speaking, and I used to hate doing group projects. Like, I literally would tell everybody, like, I don't want to do the presentation. Like, give me like 2 lines and I'm good. And I'll do like the PowerPoint, I'll do all the research, but I don't want to speak. You guys can speak and I don't want it. And finally, when I took one of those communication classes in college and I had to stand in front of a crowd and give a speech, and that really made me so uncomfortable, but it helped me so much. And once like I start talking to somebody slowly and like find a common ground, then I'm more confident. But if it's just me coming out of the blue and say, "Hi, my name is Melina," like, oh my God, worst fear. Cause I don't know, like I always fear rejection. I used to be, like I said, super shy when I was younger, and I used to get made fun of all the time. So I think it comes with like me growing into my skin, being confident in myself, and slowly but surely I am more confident, and it took a really long time, and I wish I had somebody in my 20s to tell me to be more confident and to own who I am and to be myself, but I didn't have that. And I hope that I am that for you, regardless of what age you are, because it took me a long time to start appreciating the person that I am, and now I do, and I'm confident about that. I'm still working on my public speaking, like, but I'm like so confident behind the mic. It's kind of funny that I am so confident behind the mic, but the moment that I have to like talk to someone in person is when I'm like, oh. So another step you have to take is to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. One way to get outside of your comfort zone is make it a goal. Make a goal. Like, say, this week I'm gonna introduce myself to somebody. Or this week I'm gonna talk to that girl that always goes to my workout class. Like, that's my goal. I want to like make some. I used to go to this workout class at, I believe it was LA Fitness, and there was this girl that used to always go, and I would like, laugh at the stuff the instructor was saying. I'm like, God, like I just want to like make a friend, and I never did it, and I regret it because I moved and I was just like, this girl and I could have been friends. I don't know, like it just seemed like we had the same humor. Like, I think I would have gone along with her, but I never did it. So make it a goal. Like, say, this week I'm going to make a connection with somebody that I never talked to, or that person you see at the coffee shop all the time. Start talking to them. Like, little by little, build yourself up to get out of that comfort zone and make yourself uncomfortable, because you'll meet so many amazing people. Because the more you practice being uncomfortable, the more normal it becomes and you start becoming confident. And if you fail at whatever you're doing, take it as a lesson. Like, not everything you thought you were going to do, you're going to be successful at. You might really suck. And you just take it as like, okay, I tried it, but I did it. I got over that fear. I did it. It wasn't for me. I think that failing is one of the biggest reasons why people don't do things, because they're like, oh my God, if I start this business, what if it fails? Oh my God, if I leave this job, what if I fail? So what? You failed, but at least you tried. I would rather fail at something than to live all my life thinking, damn it, I should have done that. Why didn't I do that? Don't live your life in regret. And when you fail, like I said, take it as a learning lesson and then think about it. What did I learn from this experience? How can I take this lesson to my next adventure of stepping out of my comfort zone? If you think about it, a lot of successful people have had many failures, but if they didn't fail so many times, they wouldn't have accomplished the things that they've accomplished. And just take baby steps, like do little things, small goals. They'll get you there one day. They'll get you over those fears. And hang out with people that build you up. Do not hang out with negative people. Hang out with people who push you to be a better you. Like my sister pushes me all the freaking time. Like when I started my journey with this podcast, she was like, you need to get on TikTok. I'm like, no way, I'm not getting on TikTok. Like, that's embarrassing. I'm a 31-year-old grown ass woman. Like, what am I going to do? And now I'm just like, who cares what people think? Little by little, I'm caring less and less about what people think because you know why? Because I'm happy with myself. I'm happy with what I have accomplished in a short amount of time. I'm building this community. I have so many goals. Like, my job is now a job that pays my bills to afford my passion, which is this. This is my passion. So take baby steps. If you take a giant leap to whatever you're afraid of doing, it's going to be overwhelming. So just do little things, little by little, because you're not going to master whatever you want to do overnight. It's going to happen, but you have to be patient with yourself and like start off small. If public speaking is something that you're afraid, try to like maybe at work you have a small meeting and you want to bring up something that you've been wanting to talk about, nobody brings it up. Bring it up. That's one practice, small, depending how big your meeting is. If it's like 3 people, like start small and surround yourself with risk takers, because people that are risk takers in my life, I'm like, wow, they did that. Like, they inspire me to do what I've never done. And be honest with yourself. Be honest with yourself on the reason. Like, I do this a lot to my friends. Like I said, I'm really good at giving advice, but I'm not good at listening to my own advice. Everybody needs that somebody. I am that somebody for my friends. Be honest when you're making excuses. Like when my friends make excuses and they're like, oh, it's because of this and because of that. And I'm like the not sugarcoat friend. Like, I will be honest and be like, okay, but you're just making excuses. And they'll be like, but so you have to hold yourself accountable sometimes. Like, I have been making excuses about why I haven't gone to the gym. I really have. Because if I really wanted to, I would go to sleep early, I would plan my day better, and I would sometimes, like, there's times where I'm just freaking tired and like I lay on the couch and I'm just scrolling. All that time I could have been at the gym. I could have been sleeping earlier so that way I could get up earlier. So just be honest. Like if I say, "Oh, I don't have time for this right now." Instead, I'm going to be honest and be like, I'm afraid to do this because if I do this, blah blah blah." Um Identify how stepping out of your comfort zone will benefit you. So when you make that list, maybe make reasons how this will benefit you. It will benefit me, like for me, for example, like I've talked public speaking. It's going to benefit me because when this podcast keeps growing and maybe one day I'll have a live event or one day I'll be a guest speaker at Mixtape Social. And if I keep practicing, one day I'll be confident enough to be that person to tell you, step out of your comfort zone when I did this. Like now I'm a speaker here or just hosting an event or doing something. Like eventually I'm gonna need public speaking. I'm not gonna be behind the mic forever. And just don't take yourself so seriously. Like don't be so hard on yourself. Learn to laugh at yourself when you make mistakes and be vulnerable with yourself. And risk taking is gonna involve failure and setbacks, and you might be embarrassed in front of people, but be happy to roll with the punches of life and whatever goals you have. And focus on the fun. Focus on the fun of getting to know yourself. Like, oh my God, like that was so embarrassing. Like I did that, but next time I'll be better. And it just all in all, stepping out of your comfort zone is very, very scary. But you don't need to jump right in and do something extreme. Start off small. And you slowly will push out of that comfort zone and just feel more at ease about any situation. And just take that first step. So that's all I have for you guys today. I know it's a shorter episode. I'm just super tired. I still need to go grocery shopping. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. And maybe your goal for the week should be do one thing that makes you uncomfortable. And do it and let me know how it goes. And I myself will do something and I'll share on the next podcast about what I did this week to step out of my comfort zone. Have a great week. Thank you guys so much for listening. I appreciate you guys. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to Unbreakable Latina so that way you guys know when there's a new podcast, which right now it's been consistent. I've been pretty good every Monday. Soon enough, I think I'm going to take a little break, but I don't know when because I feel like I need that break to just create more. And season 1 has kept going, girl. What is this, like episode 24, I believe? But thank you guys so much. Follow me on Instagram at Unbreakable Latina and TikTok, and on Twitter at Latina Podcast. Have a great week and step out of that fucking comfort zone. Bye.